Episode 25 of Uncle Beni, The Four Who Took the Fall. Uncle Beni was walking through the school hallway when he almost bumped into a teacher he had been introduced to earlier, Miss Felicia, one of the staff members in the school where he had just been contracted to teach. "Oh, so sorry, ma'am," he said quickly. Miss Felicia didn't respond. She rushed past him with her head bowed and disappeared into the principal's office. Slightly surprised, Uncle Beni paused, then continued toward the classroom she had just come out from. When he reached the doorway and looked through the transparent glass, he saw another teacher inside. She looked visibly upset with the students. Since this was supposed to be his first lesson with the class, he hesitated, wondering what could have angered her so much. After a moment of thought, he decided to reschedule the lesson and turned to leave. Just then, the same teacher, Mrs. Ken, stepped out of the classroom. She passed Uncle Benny without saying a word and headed straight to the principal's office. Now fully alert, Uncle Benny knew something was wrong. He glanced back at the classroom door. Many thoughts ran through his mind, but one conclusion stood out. The students must be giving the teachers serious trouble. He walked back to the door and watched the students through the glass. None of them noticed him. They were running around, shouting, laughing loudly, and behaving without any form of control. Uncle Benny opened the door and stepped inside. Some students scrambled back to their seats, while a few continued playing. "Hello," he said firmly. "I need everyone to be quiet." Slowly, the remaining students returned to their seats. Suddenly, a voice rose from the back. "Who are you, mister?" The class erupted in laughter. Uncle Benny didn't waste a second. He introduced himself and reminded them that the principal had informed them about his arrival the previous day. He then turned to the board to write the topic for the lesson. But just as he began writing, something struck the back of his head. He spun around sharply. The class exploded in laughter again. A crumbled paper lay on the floor. It had clearly been thrown at him. Uncle Benny scanned the room calmly. "Who threw that paper at me?" he asked. Silence. He sat in the teacher's chair and placed his hands on the desk. "All right," he said. "One by one, come out and introduce yourselves." They obeyed, but as they stepped forward, he noticed a small group, a clique, exchanging signals, whispering and smacking. He suspected immediately that they were the ringleaders. When it was their turn, the first boy walked out and refused to speak. The second boy did the same. Then the first girl, then her friend. Four students, all silent, all defiantly staring. Uncle Benny wasn't surprised. He instructed them to stand by the front wall. Then another boy from the same area stood up. To everyone's surprise, he introduced himself properly. Uncle Benny realized he wasn't part of the clique after all. A few students giggled quietly. Uncle Benny understood the mischief going on, but he admired the boy's courage to stand apart. At that moment, the door opened. The principal walked in with Miss Felicia and Mrs. Ken behind him. The class fell into complete silence. The principal spoke with Uncle Benny briefly, then noticed the four students standing at the front. "So the four of you are the troublemakers," he said. "Follow me to my office." The four students began protesting fearfully, but both Miss Felicia and Mrs. Ken confirmed that the entire class usually misbehaved. Still, the principal, convinced that these four were the leaders, took only them. After they left, the class became quiet, completely different from earlier. Uncle Benny continued his lesson without any trouble. The next day, the principal returned. He announced that the four students had been suspended indefinitely for troubling the teachers. He then asked Uncle Benny if there were any other troublesome students. Uncle Benny said no. The principal told the class they were lucky. He had already received approval to suspend the entire class. But because Uncle Benny identified the clique, only the four were punished. The room fell into a shocked silence. When the principal left, Uncle Benny addressed the students. "You are here to gain knowledge for your future, but you cannot achieve that without your teachers. When you trouble your teachers and refuse to respect them, you are blocking your own success." Those four students took the fall for all of you. That should never have happened. The class representative raised his hand. "We are sorry, sir," he said. "We will never behave badly to our teachers again." "Good," Uncle Benny replied and resumed his lesson. The following day, on his way to his office, Uncle Benny received an envelope. When he opened it, he smiled. It was an apology letter from the entire class. They apologized for throwing the paper at him and also apologized to all the teachers they had offended. They promised to change. Still smiling, he walked toward their classroom and saw Miss Felicia coming out, holding a beautiful flower the students had gifted her. She looked happier than he had ever seen her. Inside the classroom, the students greeted with bright smiles. He told them that the four suspended students were being considered for return because he and the teachers had pleaded on their behalf. The class was overjoyed. 2 weeks later, the four students returned, completely transformed. From that day on, the entire class remained well behaved. Even after Uncle Benny's contract with the school ended, the students continued writing letters to him, updating him on their growth. Mrs. Ken often told him how disciplined the class had become. Uncle Benny was grateful that the students had learned such an important lesson about respect, discipline, and good moral character. Keep enjoying the episodes of Uncle Benny at unclebenny.wordpress.com.